Luke has been my best friend for a long time. And I knew that he was going to get a girlfriend and a wife at some point, but I never knew that his girlfriend and wife would be one of my best friends and somebody that I knew that I could talk to, and somebody that I know will always be there for me, and somebody that I can really relate to. And so it is really, really nice having someone alongside Luke that I see myself in, and somebody that I love.
So my first impression of Kelsee has to be that she's awesome and brave and just like so easy just to walk in, and I feel like I've known her my whole life because Luke wasn't even home the very first time we met her. She got there before he did, and most people probably would have stayed in their car or wasted time. But she had texted me and asked me if I wanted something from Sonic, and then she just walked into the kitchen door through the garage. Like, she didn't come to the front door, ring the doorbell or anything. She just came in and we chit-chatted in the kitchen, and she just felt like I've known her forever. And I love that. I love how comfortable she is in her own skin, and she just was like a breath of fresh air. It was awesome.
I don't know, I knew right off the bat that Luke was the one. It didn't take me long to see Luke is so patient and kind and go with the flow, and he's everything that Kelsee needs to anchor her down, you know.
I think Kelsee is determined. I think she's a dedicated person because of the things that are nowhere near close to marriage related that she has been dedicated to in the past. But she has dedicated, I think that once the right person has been found, which is Luke, I don't think there's a chance that she will not commit 300% plus.
I thought she was very cute, very bubbly, and very comfortable in her own skin. I mean, she wasn't shy or reserved or timid at all. She's easygoing, and I thought that she made it easy to be around, and we were glad to have her around, and of course Luke was tickled to death and very proud to show her off.
I think that Luke would make a good husband for Kelsee because he is very kind-hearted and he takes really good care of the people that he loves.
Or whenever Kelsee started dating Luke, it's almost like I saw another side of Kelsee that I'd never seen before. And I saw somebody that went out of her way to make somebody else happy. And I thought that was like really cool. And she just could not stop talking about him. And I just think like she'll be his like, biggest fan, which is like a big deal in any relationship. And like we'll support him no matter what he wants to do, no matter where they're at in life. And I think that would be is like a really big deal for a successful marriage. So
she definitely is somebody that has a big heart, and anything that she does, I feel like she's going to do it to the best of her ability. And with that being said, I feel like she should be a phenomenal wife. You know, somebody that's loving and caring, and you know, will always put him, you know, in front of her, and she'll always have his best interests in mind.
Being a good friend to her, I think that's half the job as a husband, is to be a friend to your wife first, to love her and to listen to her. And Luke has been a great friend to me for over a decade. He's been a good listener. He's been consistent and steady and reliable, which I know he'll carry that on to his marriage.
They laugh a lot together. I think that that's an important thing in a relationship and in a marriage, that I've seen Luke laugh a lot more in the last year or so than maybe ever, and they get along real great, and I just think that she has patience with him. She also knows you know, when to get on him and make him do things, which is awesome. The way she approaches him and the way that she knows to interact and communicate is really, really great for Luke, and so I think that they just complement each other really well.
It's just so funny that Kelsee, of all people, is literally going to marry like the best person I've ever met. Not that I like want any different for her, because like clearly I don't. I love her and it's so great. But you know, it's just on brand that Kelsee would find someone who like literally is perfect. Don't take that the wrong way, Luke. You know how I feel about you.
Luke impressed me by being a young man that was very, very well-mannered, very well brought up, very, very schooled on his behavior outside of his norm.
He thought a lot of Kelsee right off the bat, and he was very mannerly, had a good handshake because that's very important to this guy
yes.
right here. So he made a very good first impression.
And I just got told all through recruitment, alcohol is bad, don't drink, don't do anything, you'll get kicked out. Kelsee Smith walks up to me and says, "Do you want to go to a party with us?"
My first impression of Luke goes back to kindergarten, and I can remember me and Jackson thinking, man, this kid Luke, he really just talks to the girls. Like, he'll go around and recess and be like,
well, he's obviously handsome, smart, super talented, one of the best golfers I've ever seen, and he has a huge, huge heart. Has high morals, high integrity, and just plain old fun to be around.
No, he's my favorite.
So I'm gonna say that I don't think that Luke and Kelsee, when they move in, will get another dog, because they put so much time and energy into the dogs that they have that they would feel bad for leaving one of them out at all times.
Junie is little angel baby and Winnie is like king, so there's not another place for another dog.
I think that when Luke and Kelsee move in together, they will get another dog. I think it's going to be a boy dog, and I think his name is going to be Reddington.
I think they need to raise the two they have first, and then maybe someday they can own a kennel when they get really, really rich. That's a good plan, right?
I think it's terrible. But it's very possible.
They don't need another dog. No, they shouldn't get another dog. They're gonna want to, because Kelsee's gonna want like 17 dogs. Or she won't want one at all. That's the deals that I don't really know. She's either gonna wanna have like a dog farm, because she's gonna wanna rescue all these dogs, or she's just gonna be like, Winnie's the light of my life and I can never do anything outside of him. But Luke will have to lay the law down and say, Kelsee, we're not getting another dog. Junie and Winnie, that's plenty. That is maxing you guys out. I'll say it first. And if you need another dog, Hope can come spend the night.
She had
we
just gotten
babysat Duke. We babysat Duke for the day.
I love that guy. I hate Winnie though. Just
Leave
kidding.
Winnie alone.
just excited to go out there with all our friends and, you know, shoot it up. Shoot it up. Wrong choice of words.
Kelsee said, "Why is my face that swollen?" Kelsee, I don't think it's considered swollen. I think we were just fat.
He's gonna tear up now.
Edit that. Wait a minute.
Why are you being so emotional?
Ain't your daughter?
I think she is.
Oh, shit.
I know.
Oh, shit. I can't breathe now.
I know.
Am I talking too much?
No.
I'm rocking out with my out, Mom.
I'm pumped to see Luke and Kelsee kiss. You know, PDA, let's see, I'm gonna see Luke. No, just kidding, cut that one out. But no, I'm excited to dance the night away with Luke and see his moves. He's got them. Only a few of us have seen them, but they're out there.
For a long time, I always was thinking, who would be the perfect match for Luke? And it would have to be Blake or Bo, because their personality is outgoing and a little crazy and fun. So that personality really brings out the best in Luke, because he's more introverted and reserved. And so when Kelsee walked into our lives, that little spitfire, I was like, I can't believe it. I mean, God actually made a girl in Bo/Blake form, and she's so cute, and she's a little crazy, and I think she's just perfect. She's exactly what Luke needs.
if I had any advice to give Luke and Kelsee, I think that I would say to make sure that you are putting in effort to make sure that your relationship is fun and that you're doing things that may be spontaneous and don't always have a plan, and just always make sure that you guys are the priority, like your relationship together, and just continue doing what you're doing, because I've been around now for over a year for your relationship, and I can tell that you guys are doing it right.
Always turn to the Lord, whether they're giving thanks and they're in the happiest place, or if they're in their deepest valley and struggling, that they turn their worries and their celebrations to the Lord, and their marriage will thrive and their friendship will thrive, and I can't wait to see it.
Never go to bed mad at each other. Never.
No.
Don't sleep on the couch.
And that they're a partner and not a follower or a leader, but somebody that walks beside you.
Just learn to say yes, honey. That'd be one of the best pieces of advice I could give him. In the immortal words of Dr. Seuss, it won't always be easy, but it'll always be worth it.
Nothing about life has guarantees. Nothing about life owes you anything at any time. There's no contingencies in life. You need to grab it by the reins and go full bore into the north wind and have fun while you do it.
There are going to be some hard times. You just got to remember the vows you took on your wedding day. Always remember that. Keep God first. And if you're in a fight, fight naked, because it's hard to be mad at somebody if you're fighting naked. And the other thing I'll say is, Luke, if she's mad at you, just take her to the Mexican place, eat Mexican food and a margarita. She'll be good to go.
Fight naked? I've never heard that before.
See the way that mom treats dad, and just the way that she loves him and respects him and pushes him, and just the way that they treat each other is the way that I feel like you guys need to treat each other. And I don't know Marvin and Kelsee all that well, but from what I've heard from Kelsee, they're very loving people. Also, they treat each other very well and respect each other. And I just feel like if you watch both sets of parents, both sides, you're going to get a lot of those qualities and traits that you need to treat each other with, for the rest of your lives.
Make sure that as the leader of your family, you are going to church consistently, and that, even when times that you want to sleep in or whatever, put out the extra effort to make sure that that's a priority, and it'll pay dividends in the end. Also, spend as much time together as you can. Go on vacations, get outside, go on trips together, and just enjoy one another in your relationship, and just, take it all in, before you have kids, because once you have kids, then your focus changes, and so you have to really make an effort to continue to put each other first.
Kelsee, don't be difficult. Make your own water. Don't always yell at Luke to take the dogs out to pee. Take out the trash. Luke doesn't have to do it every time. He doesn't have to drive you to work, which thank God we'll all be adults and he won't have the option to do that anymore. Luke, just don't be afraid to hurt her feelings. I hurt her feelings all the time. Like, she responds well to that. Like, just say exactly what you feel, exactly what you're thinking, and don't beat around the bush because you're afraid to hurt her feelings. Just tell her what you think. It'll all be fine.
To make sure that when little problems come up or arguments or whatever, to make sure that you remember that it's not Kelsee versus Luke, it's Kelsee and Luke versus the problem.
I think the best piece of advice that I would give to both Luke and Kelsee would be to put each other first. And right now that is put each other first before the dogs. But someday that's going to mean put each other first before kids, careers, and all the things. Because if you're solid together, then everything else falls into place. Go outside more. And eat healthy. Go outside and get vitamin D. Get a good sleep schedule. I don't know, I have a lot of advice. But I mean, I'll jot it down so you remember.
There will be a lot of small arguments that can be big arguments if you let them. You need to figure out what is worth not necessarily arguing over, but having different opinions on, and what's just worth moving past and sacrificing for the other person. Always make the other person feel like they're the biggest priority in your life, because if you don't, then they will start to kind of freak out in their own mind a little bit and wonder what's wrong with them. And so, yeah, that would be my two biggest things.
Don't forget how you feel right now, because life is going to be hard, it's going to be stressful. We've kind of been in this place where it just feels like a battle is just ongoing. Like you get through one thing and something else comes up. Either life becomes stressful, you start arguing about something new, whatever, and it just feels like it's never ending. And I constantly just have to think about, like, why did we get married? Or like, you know, how did I feel on our honeymoon? And remember that, like, we're not against each other. You're always supposed to be for each other.
Well, Kelsey, I think we pulled this thing off. I think this was for sure worth the wait. And I got this idea from good old Nick Miller. I'm sure you probably guessed. And I'm actually very surprised you were so good at waiting. You're so patient. That's totally not true. And I'm not going to make you wait any longer. So let's just get right to it. I cannot wait to spend the rest of my life with you. I can't wait to grow each other's relationships through Christ together. And I'm looking forward to making all the great memories to come. I love you so much, Kelsey.